MotorTrend Executive Editor Mac Morrison. We're here today near Austin, Texas, Circuit of the Americas, but we're not here for Formula One this week. We're here to drive and to talk about the brand new, insane Corvette ZR1.
Finally, after decades of unrealized rumors about a mid-engine version, the 8th generation Corvette in 2020 saw its engine relocated to sit behind the cockpit, giving the car a whole new architecture and dynamic character to rival the best super sports cars from around the world. The change promptly saw the Corvette Stingray claim MotorTrend's 2020 Car of the Year award. Since then, the 495 horsepower Corvette Stingray has spawned the Track Terror Z06 with 670 horsepower and some serious aerodynamics. Enough for it to claim our 2023 Performance Vehicle of the Year trophy as well. But Chevy wasn't satisfied, and we all knew what was coming. The new 2025 Corvette ZR1 is the most powerful and all-around extreme production model in Corvette history.
And now I'm happy to see my friend Tony Roma, Executive Chief Engineer for Corvette and Global Performance. 1,064 horsepower, 820 pound-feet of torque, 2.3 seconds to 60 miles an hour, and if you add a 3 to that figure, that's your top speed at 233 miles per hour. Insane cornering performance as well. How did you do it?
Yeah, this is an amazing car. Obviously, to get these performance specs, this whole entire architecture was laid out with this in mind. The heart of the beast is our 5.5 liter flat plane crank LT7 engine, makes the 1,064 horsepower. It's the twin to the LT6 engine. It's the heart of the Z06 and the heart of our GT3 race car. That's the naturally aspirated version. This is obviously a lot more than just a twin turbos put on the side of that engine. It was designed from the beginning to do this. Almost every part of the car has been upgraded in some way. The brakes, fuel system, everything was thought with this in mind. The very intentional aero with that huge wing and the underbody treatments and the flow-through hood that make over 1,200 pounds of downforce at speed, so results in a pretty incredible beast.
Now, everything's pretty impressive for sure, but I want to come back here to your point and look at this engine, because is it fair to say this is like the biggest masterpiece you've ever seen created out of Corvette and GM performance?
There's no doubt. The small block engine team that put this together, this is clearly their crowning achievement to this point. It's an incredible piece. If you look at the insides, it looks like a high-end race engine inside, right? Titanium rods, the pistons are these really tiny, lightweight, sexy things that handle all this power and torque and pressure. It is hand-built in Bowling Green, right next to the assembly line where we assemble the rest of the car. The signature of the artist that assembles the engine is right there for display. It's incredible.
I know you don't have an official Nürburgring time yet. Do you plan to go there to get one?
No pressure. I hope we can get a Nürburgring time. It's been a long time since we've done an official record attempt. Don't rule that out.
Well, in the meantime, I'm going to go drive it here at Circuit of the Americas.
We were limited to about 10 total laps of Circuit of the Americas. First, in a standard ZR1 coupe running on Michelin PS4 tires and equipped with the optional carbon aero package. That package gets you a towering rear wing, front aerodynamic dive planes, and a taller front gurney flap incorporated into the hood. We then switched to a ZR1 coupe that featured the full ZTK performance package, adding Michelin Cup 2R tires and a stiffer magnetic ride suspension to create an even more capable combination. Perhaps surprisingly, based on the car's specs, the ZR1 quickly proves itself relatively easy to drive hard. Chevy's performance traction management system helps you in that regard and allows you to keep the rubber hooked to the road. Nail the throttle to the floor, and the twin-turbo flat-plane crank V8 uncorks a continental shelf's worth of power and torque that never lets up. The delivery isn't peaky whatsoever, giving you plenty of confidence, enough so that we easily saw the speedometer calmly reach 176 miles per hour on the back straight before we nailed the giant carbon ceramic brakes in time to make it through the next slow-speed corner. In fact, the ZR1's braking ability and huge grip, both mechanical and aerodynamic, mean that driving this car is as much about its chassis tuning and handling as it is about monster straight line speed. The car turns into corners with confidence, be those corners low, medium, or high speed. And so much so that we wish we had been able to drive 20 more laps in order to really appreciate just how aggressively and fast it can corner before the grip gives up. Especially when you're talking about the ZR1 with the ZTK and Aero packages. On the PS4 tires, we did experience some small slides and tail-out moments when putting the power down for corner exits. But on the extra sticky Cup 2R rubber, driving the ZR1 becomes as much an exercise in pushing your own personal limits as it is in pushing the cars. Now, Chevy hadn't yet supplied us with an official ZR1 curb weight when we filmed this video, but we expect the car to come in around the 3,900 pound mark. That's significantly heavier than something like Porsche's 911 GT3 RS at 3,220 pounds, or the McLaren 750s or 675 LT's 3,200-ish pounds. It's even heavier than the Z06's 3,774 pounds, and make no mistake, the extra heft makes driving the ZR1 a less frantic experience than any of those more purely track-focused creations. And it also means you're likely to notice the sheer physical effort required to hustle it around the track. But that's not the ZR1's sole mission, and Chevy doesn't necessarily consider cars like that to be its direct competition. Thanks to its stratospheric power and torque figures, the Corvette team will just as easily cite cars like Ferrari's SF90 and Lamborghini's Revuelto, both of which still come up short in the power department, weigh about as much, and cost hugely more than the Corvette. Indeed, the 2025 Corvette ZR1 is its own kind of all-around monster of a performer, able to drop incinerating bombs on racetracks and drag strips, and though we haven't yet had an opportunity to drive it on the street, the car's behavior around the Circuit of the Americas indicates it'll be easy to live with in more common, real-world settings as well.
For the full story and a much deeper dive into multiple aspects of the new ZR1, go to MotorTrend.com.